Across cultures and civilizations, Dr. Yunus and Grameen Bank have shown that even the poorest of the poor can work to bring about their own development. In 2008, Dr. Yunus was rated #2 in Foreign Policy's magazine list of the top 100 global thinkers. Dr. Yunus has received too many national and international honors to mention here, but he did receive the United States Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009 and the Congressional Gold Medal in 2010. Dr. Yunus, it's my honor to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you for a fantastic introduction. I'm very happy to be with the students and the faculty to share my experiences over time. You mentioned some of the things. And this is right now is a very depressing time. It's a whole period is a depressing period, starting with the pandemic and a global attack by virus. And we thought we'll get over it, but we saw ugliness related to it. We were talking about a global village. When pandemic came, to our surprise, shock, we found out we are not a global village. We are a series of isolated islands. Everybody is desperately trying to take care of themselves rather than look around who is others in the other islands, what they are doing. And even depriving us. And that's what continued, and we didn't address this whole problem, pandemic, which is a global problem. We didn't do it in a global way. We're very segmented. We became very selfish, always looking at our own interest rather than the global interest. So we failed in making concerted efforts, global strategy, and so on. It became very clear when we came to the vaccine. We started talking about vaccine appetite, that you deny other people just for yourself. 10 lucky countries monopolized all the vaccines in the world, and the other people didn't get access to vaccines. Where we were campaigning right from the beginning of the introduction of the vaccine, even before the vaccines were created, we are saying this should be patent-free vaccine. There shouldn't be any intellectual property right and control of the vaccines by a handful of companies, vaccine companies. It should be open up for production anywhere in the world under the supervision of WHO and COVAX and others. But that's not how it happened. Patent was never withdrawn. We're still struggling. We're still saying whatever is left out can be done by removing the patent right and so on. So that was another show of selfishness and also greed attached to it. A few companies who introduced those vaccines, they made tons and tons of money out of it. While people are dying, they will not release it. The patent right was not released just to make money because the monopoly that they have on each vaccine brought them so much profit. They made billions of dollars while people are dying of COVID-19. So it was a very clear case of profit versus life. And the day was won by the profit. Life was defeated. So again, selfishness at supreme show, the greed in the supreme way. So this is a pandemic brought this out as we came out. This is the same period when we have the COP26 meeting, talking about the global warming. Again, we saw how profit-making became a top seat in the global warming case, where there's a very clear scientific case that we don't have much time left for human beings to survive on this planet. Human beings are on a suicidal path, and the path doesn't go far. The end comes very soon. And that's what was said in a very clear voice by the scientists who were observing the global warming. Their report was right before the COVID-26 meeting that we have only a decade or less before we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature on the planet. Today, we are very close to 1.2. By the end of the decade, it will be nearing or exceeding 1.5 degrees. which means we are reaching the limit of tolerance for global warming. After that, it will be impossible for human being to survive on this planet. Knowing this end so close, still we were not talking about desperate attempts and so on. We are talking about 2050, we are talking about 2030, after the end of the century, that we'll have 1.5 degrees Celsius and so on, as if nothing happened. So I was trying to draw attention that you should look at it as our house is burning. It's very clear, his house is burning, and it doesn't have much time before it turns into ash. But we are having celebration inside the house. We are having parties of glories of business successes and technological achievements, miracles that we are achieving and so on. But without any concern for the survival of the planet itself. In the process, we became the most endangered species on this planet right now. And this is the direction that we are going. While we are talking about COVID-26 and all the dangers that is accumulating, right now, today and yesterday, we are busy, everybody is busy with the television, watching Russian invasion into Ukraine. We are so greedy. Now we are on another front. We are not worrying about collectively surviving on this planet. We are trying to take over things from each other, and in a very flagrant way, in a way doesn't care who thinks what are the international standards, what are the international rules and regulations, and so on and so forth. So these are the kind of thing. It's a shocking thing that keeps happening. And you mentioned about my work with bringing credit to rural poor, particularly women. And their only simple question I was raising, why banks refuse to lend money to the poor people. I thought it doesn't make sense to me why it should be done. Only thing banks could tell me, explain as by way of explanation, saying that they cannot lend money to the poor people because they are not creditworthy. As if that was enough of an explanation. I said, wow, I don't understand what is creditworthy. Tell me what it is. They said, well, it means that they were not able to pay back. Even if we give the money, they don't have that capacity to return the money with interest, or even without interest, they will not be able to pay back, because the money they get will be used up in consumption and other for survival purposes. Very little they can generate to return the money. I said, I've been doing it. I'm not doing it as a kind of a experiment to show off the world. I did it. People are in serious need for the money to protect themselves from the loan sharks. That's why I did it. Then people paid me back. I had no problem with that. Why are you accusing that they will not pay back? Oh, they will do it for a while. They will not do it again. I said, they have been doing it, and I'll continue to do it. Lend money and see when you say it will stop, and I'll find out why it stopped. I said, the real reason is not that they are not creditworthy. My explanation is, real reason is banks are not people-worthy. They are not concerned about the people. They have designed the whole system in a way which doesn't care for the people. They are running after the people who have lots of money. So I said, to me, it looks very funny. Banks were created to lend money to people who need money. That was the very essence of the banking. People put money in deposit with the bank take the deposit and lend the money to people who need the money. But you do the banking in a very funny way. It doesn't make sense to me. You lend the money to people who already have lots of money. And then you don't lend the money to people who don't have the money. I said, it should be the other way. The whole banking system should be designed to lend money to people who don't have money. After they have done that, then they go to the people who have little money, a little more money, and so on. But your system is the opposite. You start with the people who are the richest, and the next one, the next one, the next one. So in your system, half the population, 75% of the population are left out. And that is the cause of poverty. And I explained them by saying that poor people did not create poverty. They are not the cause of poverty. Poverty is not created by the poor people. Poverty is created by the system that we built. Thinking that we put in terms of economic designs, economic institutions, economic concepts, that created the poverty. The machine, the economic machine that we created, is responsible for poverty. And then I come to all these years talking about microcredit, and I said, if you don't want to look at it the banking way, the microcredit and the credit for the poor people, you should be looking at it as a human right. I said, credit is a human right, because you talk about right to food, right to shelter, right to work, right to many things. But how do you establish those rights? You can't. Government cannot just pass laws, say that you ensure food, ensure clothing, ensure housing, ensure healthcare. You can create laws. Laws do not feed them. Laws do not clothe them. Laws do not take care of health. You have to create institutions to do that. I said, then you have to come back to the money available in their hands. And that's where credit becomes so important for them. And I'm saying all people are born as entrepreneurs. But the system we created assumes people have to find jobs. I said, job is absolutely wrong idea. Job is not what the human beings are looking for. People looking for expressing themselves, their creative capacity to make themselves do things for themselves. That's where the credit comes in. And credit is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. But you denied that oxygen to people. And that's why they remain the way they are. So this is the direction that we want to go, to provide that. So all these things have come very clear during the pandemic and so on. And we see whole economy slowed down, stopped, now trying to recover. And everybody is trying to go back to the pre-pandemic economic situation. I keep screaming that please don't go back to the pre-pandemic situation. That's not where you want to go, because that was a road to disaster. So you don't want to go to the road to disaster. That's a road to suicide. We don't want to commit suicide because we don't have much time. Because of the global warming, we don't have much time. Because of wealth concentration, all the wealth of the world is concentrated in few hands. We don't have much time. It will explode. Today, 1% of the population has nearly 99% of the wealth of the entire world. 1% owning 99%. What kind of economy is that? Who designed that economy? And it's getting worse every day. No economist in the world will say it's improving. It never improves. It always gets worse. So what is the limit to it? Do we exhaust everything from the bottom and put everything in the top? That cannot be an economic system. Economic system should be other way. Wealth should be coming to the people. Now people is in one side of the economy and the wealth in the other side of the economy. What kind of economy is that? So I said, we have to build an economy where wealth and people live together. We have to create that engine. This engine is the wrong engine. This engine creates the separation, segregation. So I said, we have to redesign the whole economic machine, redesign the concepts of economy. We talk about the concept of business. Profit maximizing cannot be the only way of designing business. So we introduced the idea of social business. Social business is something which takes care of your problems rather than make money for yourself. I said, human beings are not only driven by self-interest, as economists define human being, driven by self-interest. I said, human beings are also driven by collective interest. Collective interest idea has been completely driven out from the economic system. So I said, we have to bring it back. You have the profit maximization for taking care of your self-interest. You want to make more money, accumulate wealth, and that's where the business is making wealth. At the same time, there's another kind of business we have to introduce in the economic system where business solves the problem, other side of the economy creates for them. So this will be a continuous process of redesigning the society, redesigning the economy by creating social business. And that business is not interested in making profit. That business is interested in solving problem by bringing creative ideas into it. That's what we have been doing in social business. So this is the direction that we want to go. And then we say we have to create a new kind of world. This world is over. This world, this civilization that we have created is a civilization which will destroy us all. Before it destroys us all, we need a new civilization, a civilization which will pull us out and go in a different direction. If you follow the same old path that we are following today, we'll go to the end very quickly, because that's the direction it's going, end path. So we have to redesign everything, so create a new path to go to other directions. So we have to build new roads. Old roads cannot take us to the new destination. To go to the new destination, we have to build new roads. These are the new roads we'll be talking about. I said we have to build the world, which I start explaining as a 3-0 world. We have to create a 3-0 world. What is a 3-0 world? A world which will be zero net carbon emission, a world which will be zero wealth concentration, a world which will be zero unemployment, because there is no reason for unemployment because we'll be entrepreneur. And now unemployment becomes obsolete, absolute, because of the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is coming in a very sharp way. It will make human beings unnecessary in this whole planet, because they're not needed for anything, because machine will do much better than human beings can do. So what would happen to the fate of the human being? They will be the garbage on this planet, unnecessary wastage, pile of waste. That's not the kind of human being we imagine in our thought that people would be. So we have to create a world where human being will be the creativity, center of creativity, not the artificial intelligence and so on. So this is the direction we want to go. So we talk about 3-0 world, we talk about 3-0 clubs, encouraging young people. 5 young people can create a 3-0 club and start thinking about how to create this world as a 3-0 world. And I try to tell them that in order to create a 3-0 world, each one of us, the club members, have to become gradually, step by step, taking tiny steps, become 3-0 person. I do not contribute to global warming as a person, because I'm the one who's contributing to the global warming by using fossil fuel, by using plastic, by using fashionable clothes. These are all contributing to the global warming. So if I stop and all 5 members of our club stops, we have created ourselves as a 3-0 persons. So we become a 3-0 club because all 5 of us do it. So gradually we spread this 3-0 clubs and we reduce those global warming and become conscious of the general policies, what 3-0 businesses, how to create 3-0 business. We will be creating 3-0 business to stop that. We are not talking about you stop it. First, we stop it ourselves. We are 3-0 people and we create 3-0 businesses and so on. So this is the direction we want to go. So I'll stop here and let you raise other questions that I have not touched on. Thank you very much, Anne.
Dr. Yunus, it would be difficult to find a topic that you haven't touched on. Beginning and within an elegant framework to talk about the crises of the day and to link them with the social and the economic shortcomings of that framework. But let me step back and talk about you for a minute, if I may, because John Locke a very long time ago said, it's all right to take from nature, just don't cherry pick and just don't stop it from reproducing itself. Right? There's some wisdom in there. That was a long time ago. And yet that's exactly the point where we are, isn't it? We have cherry picked and we are actually killing the capacity of nature and ourselves to reproduce. So sorry to make this a little bit long, but if I go back to your earlier beginnings, scarcity is not new and man-made scarcity is not new. So could you perhaps share with us why you had the courage? Because you didn't develop Grameen Bank overnight. Your concepts took time. Where did that courage come from, and how do you recommend that we follow your lead and develop that courage to form the 3-0 clubs and to do the things that need to be done?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question. But I was thinking, did I have the courage? I didn't know. I couldn't explain it by courage. I would say maybe the right word for me to explain why I did it would be desperation. When you're desperate, you do something which you had never thought could be done. But you do it because you're desperate by the situation, by the circumstances, and so on. The desperation was created by the very unnatural situation that I was going through at that time in the early 70s, because Bangladesh just became an independent country after a long liberation war. And we were proud of having a new country and so on. So we thought we'd change everything, we'd change the life of the people in the country, filled with poor people. At that time, more than 80% of the people in the country was under the poverty line. So almost everybody is a poor person in Bangladesh. So we said we want to change that. That's the ambition that we had. But instead of improving after the liberation, economy went further down, and it became a famine, nationwide famine. People were dying on the streets, lying around, dead bodies lying around everywhere. So you wonder, what is this all about? You talk about improving the life of the people, instead what you got is dead bodies on the street. Why? Not because it was a disease, not because it was a pandemic of something that you have no control over. It's simply they didn't have just a handful of rice, because we're a rice-eating country. If you give a handful of rice, that's enough for some persons to survive for a day. We could not provide that handful of rice. And this is the situation. And then amazing scenario that you see, well, you see dead bodies on the street. You have your fashionable restaurants full of clients. Homes are buying things from the groceries and so on. Nothing stopped, but people are dying in a massive number. So that's what is this all about? What the development that we talk about, economics that I'm trained as an economist. What is I trained for if I cannot handle this? So I kind of self-pity that I have wasted my time learning something which has nothing to do with people's life, because I thought I have no knowledge how to help poor people. So while I was passing through that agony inside of me, one thought came to me: I cannot change the world. I cannot change the country. I cannot change my community here. Why don't I go next door in the university that I was teaching in the village and see if I can help one person? My economics may not help me in that. As a human being, maybe I'll be useful to another person. That capacity probably I still have. As a human being, touch another person's hand and say, I want to help you. Okay, what do I do? So that became my ambition, to help one person. And then I made it one person a day. So I go every day, meet people, talk to people, try to find out something that I can do to help the person. That's it. And it was not a big thing, just a tiny little thing. And I became very familiar with people, familiar with the village. And I saw that all the things I learned about economics has nothing to do with the people's life. So I said, forget about economics. All I need to do is to see if I can help that person to gain a little self-respect for himself or something. And I got into the loan sharking, see the terrible loan sharking in the same village where people are dying of hunger. People are making money by lending tiny little money, $5, $10, $2, and make a lot of money by doing that. And people give up everything they have possessed. So I said, can I save from the victimization of at least one person? I cannot save everybody, but 1%, 2%. How can I do that? So I said, why don't I lend the money myself? This is the thought that I got. It's not about courage. Can I lend money so that he or she doesn't have to go to the loan shark? And I started doing that. An amazing thing happened. People are so happy, so grateful that I gave them the money and they didn't have to go to the loan shark. That encouraged me. That made me feel good, that I'm touching people's lives. They look at me, they grab me, they hug me. And I said, I have money in my pocket. I'm coming from the United States where I was teaching, when my pocket is full of money. So I can give money as much as they want, because it's $2, $5, $10, $50 business. So that's what I did. And I said, you return the money. If you need money more, I'll give you later. And people are actually paying back. So then I became bold enough to challenge the banking system. I said, banking is wrong. And that's the story that I was telling you. Then finally, I said, I created a new banking system, which is opposite of the existing banking system. Conventional banks go to the rich, I go to the poor. Conventional bank go to men, I go to women. 97% of the borrowers of Grameen Bank are still women, in the village women, illiterate women. We have over 9 million borrowers of Grameen Bank right now. We started at an early stage focusing on women, it still remains focused on women. Conventional banks want collateral, we said dismiss with collateral. Conventional banks bring their lawyers, I said dismiss the lawyers. So we are lawyer-free banking. And conventional bank go to the city center to do business, we went to the remote village to do business. We have no branch, no facility in the city center. We go to the remote village to do that. So this, we created another business to help people. In the process, I came out with the idea of social business. It's not a business to make money for myself. It's a business to solve people's problem. And I created a series of those businesses and so on. This is how the social business microcredit program was created.
Excellent, excellent, insightful answer. We have a question from Tatiana Milyovska. Do you think, Dr. Yunus, that a true, effective, honest, proper, concrete reset or redesign can achieve as a result of a shift of consciousness, especially among the wealthy?
I'm not talking about the wealthy. I don't look at that. They will behave in their own way. I'm looking all the way and always look at the young people, even in wealthy families. I said, older people have created the problems. They have no capacity to solve it, no matter what they want to do. So best bet is to go to the young people before their mind is polluted by the old thinking, So I bring them that idea of 3 zeros, clubs, about all the 3 major problems that I see. They can see other problems too. Global warming I can fight that global warming. I don't have to contribute to it while I'm marching on the street. I'm contributing at the same time by using cars, by using fossil fuel in every daily life. I said, no, I don't want to get away from fossil fuel. If it's the greatest contributor, why should I contribute? And I said, I will not open a bank account for myself in any bank if I see in their list they're financing the fossil fuel. Because after all, fossil fuel industry is thriving on the money coming from the bank. And whose money is the bank giving? It's my money. So I said, I check as an individual before I give my money, my $10 in a bank account. I ask, where do you put my money? Because you take my money and give it to somebody. Who are you giving to? So if I see they are not giving it to polluting industries like the fossil fuel, gas, etc., and also the plastic. They are not putting my money into plastic. They are not putting money into things that pollute the planet and so on. So this is what, as I said, the fashion industry. I don't want to put my money into bank which finances the fashion industry and so on. And I don't wear fashions because I want to be a 3-0 person. So those are the kind of, so I don't go to the wealthy person to argue with them. I don't. But I say I give examples to them. Say, look, this can be done. You can in your businesses you make money. That's how the economists taught you, and that's the way you hired people from the business school who've been trained and grilled to learn how to make more money. So you hire them to help you more money. So they cannot do something else because they have not learned anything else. So what you can do, you say, I make money in my money-making business, but I want to try out the social business to bring healthcare to the people, to bring housing to the people, and not to make money, but to solve the problem of the people. And I said, I give examples, what I did, what others did in a social business way, how corporates have joined us to create social business. I give examples of Danone, I give examples of Uniqlo from Japan, I give examples of many other such corporate bodies, global corporate bodies, who have created tiny little social businesses on the side. I said, they have to experiment with it to see whether it makes sense to them. So small one is good, but they paid attention that yes, we can do that and call it social business to explain what this is all about and so on. So I said, if you want to do that, you can do that. I said, many of these wealthy people sign up the giving pledge that after their death, entire wealth they leave behind will go into a non-profit organization, a foundation or something, some charity, or half the wealth they will leave behind will go into charity. And 186 of those wealthiest people have signed up. I go to them, I said, well, you did a great job. You accumulated all this money, now you give it away. But one thing I said, would you consider, instead of just give it away, would you create a social business fund so that you invest in social business, which solves the problem and money comes back to the fund so that this money can be used and reused and reused infinite time, rather than give one shot and you're gone, you've done created a university, created a hospital, created this and so on, and the money is gone. I said, why should money go away? Create social businesses. If you want to create a university, create a social business university, create a social business hospital, so that your money re-rolls into the business and grows, and you can expand. And I give examples of what we have done in academic institutions like nursing college, as a social business. We have created health centers. We have created hospitals. We are in the process of creating 500-bed hospitals and a medical college as a social business, which will earn and then continue to expand by its own and bring down the cost of everything for the people. We are now in the process of creating a social business pharmaceutical company because we saw how ugly the pharmaceutical companies can get in order to make money. So we said, now we want to create a social business pharmaceutical company. If we bring vaccines, we'll share to everybody. Any knowledge that we have, we'll share with everybody so that after all, this is done for protecting people's life. So I will not protect it, the patent of the medicine. I'll make it public. I'll put it in the newspaper that this is my recipe. Please do it as much as you can, wherever you can. It's up to you. It's publicly available. So we'll have medicines being produced. Medicines are unnecessarily priced high. So I will bring down the cost of the medicine, which is not affordable to bulk of the population in the world. So I will bring it. So it's a social business pharmaceutical company. So those are the kind of thing I want to share. Would you like to invest your money into a social business pharmaceutical company? You may have a money-making businesses elsewhere, but you can create a social business pharmaceutical company. And many people create foundations, made charity organizations. I said, this is an option. I'm not saying that you stop them, but I give them an option. But to the young people, I said, don't accept the world that you are imposed on. You create your own world, and it will be a world of 3.0.
Excellent. And I understand that the GCAS College has now uploaded the 3 websites, 3.0 Club, socialbusinesspedia.com, and GrameenAmerica.org. I have another question from Omer Yildiz, and maybe I'll add a little bit to it. The question is, Dr. Yunus mentioned that within the pandemic, we realized we don't live in a global world, but in isolated islands. So do you have further advice for addressing the global inequality? And let me just add to that, that it seems to me that you continue to be an example of a man of conscience who starts with one person at a time. Might that be something of an answer for you? And how do we accept the mission that you've imposed on yourself, or that you've accepted?
Thank you. Thank you. I start by saying I want to reach out to the young people. That's made clear. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do it the way I'm saying. I don't expect everybody to jump into it. So I said, take your time, but make a choice what you want to do. I said, you are the most lucky generation in the world. You became the most powerful generation in the world. I tell the young people of this generation. You are most powerful because no other generation has as much power as you have. Not because you are smarter than the other generation, not because you are more creative than the other generation. They're as good or as much as creative as other generation. The difference that you have enormous technology in your hand. No other generation ever had that technology. You almost have Aladdin's lamp in your hand, which no other generation ever had. You can touch that Aladdin's lamp and the genie always comes out and always say, what should I do, master? And when the genie asks that question, you should have an answer for that. What would you like the genie to do? Mm-hmm. So this is not a big asking. Simply you have the genie is asking, what should I do? And that's what you are the genie in this case, yourself. Genie is not someplace living in the lamp. You are the genie. Circumstances, history created you as a genie. So you have to find out that you are a genie. First of all, just realize that you are a genie in the sense that I'm saying you're the most powerful generation. If you feel that in some way, then ask the question, now that I have the power, how should I use this power? What should I use this power for? It's very important to know. If you don't ask that question, this power will be wasted away. Power doesn't continue. Power will disappear because you never used it. So you don't make it disappear. Use it in the best possible way. Otherwise, you will regret that I had the power, I never used it. Don't use this power for silly things, because you can use the power for silly things. You can buy the most expensive thing. You can dive to the super space and waste all your money and say, I got to this. It didn't do anything to anybody. You went to this holiday in this space. You don't do that. You have this power, you use it to change the world, change people's life, protect them from the danger like your generation. Your generation may narrowly survive, but your next generation will never survive. That's for guaranteed, given the circumstances that we are in. So you say, this far, no further. You cannot take us. We stand here. And that's the challenge you have to take. So this is the message I want to give to the young people. You have to do that. And I said, you are always forget that what your school teaches you wrong. They're giving you they're introducing you the wrong roads, which has created that. You build your own roads or put weight in your school that no, I want to build new roads. Old roads will not take me out of this problem. I want to create new roads. What are the new roads already created by somebody else, others? Collect all those information. See which one thrills you. Follow that. You have to always remember old road will not take you to the new destination. So school is good for the old roads. It's not good for new roads. So you have to turn upside down. And I give the example of the banking system. I said, without knowing it, because I was focused on it, in the process, I created a whole banking system upside down. And still it works. And it works everywhere in the world. So I said, that's what you have to focus on it. And nothing is impossible for human being. So if you focus on it, you'll get it done. And education tells you, you have to go to the best school to get the best job in the best company. Forget it. You say, I'm not a job seeker. I don't want slavery. Slavery is out. School taught me to become slaves. I am not a slave. I defy that school, which teaches me to get the best school, get a good grade so that you get a good job. I said, I don't want a good job. I don't want to be a slave. I want to be myself. I want to use my creative power. Job seals off your creative power. Job is run by directions, by instructions. Don't follow instructions. You create your own instructions and you create the world you want. And you can do that. And that's the direction you have. So you create a new education system where it will help you to become yourself, unleash your creative energy and make it happen. And then you see finance is the most important part in becoming entrepreneurs. I keep saying finance is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. So you have to address the whole financing system. Financing system has to be redesigned. The old financing system is making the world with a enormous wealth concentration. All the wealth goes to the few people because all the money from the bank goes to few people. If you look at the distribution of bank credit, like we do the land distribution, we do this in economics, the land distribution pattern in the poor countries, few people in the country own all the land, like go to Latin America or even India, Bangladesh, and so on. Super rich people owning land. But nobody asked the question, who owns all the credit from the bank? It will be enormously destructive to see how all the wealth goes to only few people. And they become the super rich because bank gave all the money to them. Why don't the bank give to me? I give the same interest as they do. I'm not asking for a free money, but they won't do it. The excuse they did, you're not credit worthy, you're not bank worthy. That's where I said you are not people worthy. So you have to redesign your system and do that. So you redesign them, create a banking system which you put money on the table as soon as you come to school. Here is the money, you get ready, come with a business idea, take the money, fly, go to do that, whatever you want to do. That's the system we are looking for, so that I'm not tied down to job seeking and job interviews and those kind of things, a limited life that I have to live at the service of somebody else. I'm not somebody to serve somebody else. I'm serving the people, I'm serving myself to create a new world. That's the direction I would hope young people should go.
Dr. Yunus, I just want to convey that Omar says thank you for giving us young people a chance.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been an inspiring conversation. I would like to add thank you for giving older people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me, for having me. I hope young people come up with some 3-0 clubs, see how they can use that. This is up to them. It's a very informal thing. They can go to our website and register themselves just to help introduce each other. one club, we introduce another club so that they have a global network of 3-0 clubs. And then we can create the 3-0 world.
I personally am going to take your message and bring it back to my young students in policy at Columbia, where I'm teaching capital markets. And
Thank you.
I really appreciate your inspiration today and your contributions, in fact, to this growing community that Creston is building.
Okay, great to know that. Thank you.